And good afternoon, how's everybody doing? Hope you all had a wonderful launch week despite the occasional hiccups on launch day for the final shape. But it is time to do the weekly update for episode 1 of Echoes for Destiny 2, the first of hopefully many episodes. For those of you catching up, it is a 3-act part, each act taking up 6 weeks. But this update series will be going over what goes on each week individually. So if you're interested in checking out what happens this week, I'll be live over on Twitch, link will be in the description, around 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Eastern at the absolute latest, barring any issues or complications. But first, let's dive in to the weekly rotators, as I usually do, starting off with the Vanguard Strikes. Over in Vanguard, our weekly Nightfall this week is Prison of Elders, with the weapon this week being the pre-aesthetics 4 bow. I'll have a link in the description as well for that, for Light GG, if you'd like to see what all you can roll on it. Then over in Crucible, it is Relic this week, as well as Double Clash. And for those interested, it is also double rewards this week. So if you want to grind out any of the new Crucible armor or weapons, now is a good time to do it. Especially if you have on the Ghost mod that lets, I believe, Crucible drop increases. Then for our rotators, over on the Moon, our weekly raid is Garden of Salvation. Our dungeon is over on Savithn's Thrallworld as Spire the Watcher. So if you haven't gotten the Hierarchy of Needs bow or the Catalyst, this is a good week to grind it out. Our exotic quest mission this week is Seraph's Shield for, I can't remember the weapon off the top of my head. And then our Lost Sector for today, don't forget these rotates daily, Lost Sector for today is over on Cosmodrome, and it'll be the Exodus Garden 2A. And with the new updates, you can get a exotic engram, also a legendary weapon. Then over on Neptune, the terminal overload this week is in Amsha Park, and the current daily Vex Incursion Zone is over here in Zephyr Concourse, with tomorrow being Ashpa Park. So there won't be any chances for exotic gear during that. Don't forget, it's being week 1 of Echoes. We have that whole quest line coming up. So to start it off this week, you'll want to go over to Nessus, and then on the far right, launch the Mission Meteoric quest over here. It is a low difficulty mission, so it should not be too complicated. But, Destiny has proven otherwise sometimes. In addition to that, the current weekly seasonal challenges for week 2 are Pale Heart Traveler. Collect and place Traveler collectibles in the Pale Heart, 04. A Nuke Collapse. Confront the Witness and conclude the Light and Darkness saga. I believe this is either for the raid or the mission that unlocked after it. It's also on the far side of the Pale Heart map. I'm going to call it Excision or something. And then we have Scratch the Surface 1, complete Act 1, Part 1 of a Rising Chorus, which will be your Echo storyline. Research and Development, complete the research quest for Specimen ID NES-001. Also regarding the Echo season. Learning Computer 1, increase your helm rank with failsafe in the helm. I believe just need to do it one time, no resetting. The Simulated Rock and Stone 1, deposit 200 grams of radiolite samples at the research bay aboard the helm, 03. Failsafe Cracker 1, open Echo Chest after completing any episode Echoes activity, only to complete 6. Autocannon Analyst 1, defeat combatants in episode Echoes Breach executable using auto rifles and hand cannons, earn bonus progress for using seasonal weapons, only 70 combatants. And if you haven't already discovered it yet, the seasonal weapons are really good, especially if you get multi-kills with them, as they, essentially turn everything into a Vex Fanatic. And then we have Echoing Firepower 1. Defeat combat targets with rocket launchers and scout rifles. Earn bonus progress for using seasonal weapons. Do not know the total number, but is it percentage based? I would take a shot in the dark. I would guess only 50, but just keep going until it's completed. And then analyze defenses, collect pieces of seasonal armor. Only need to collect 4 of the 6. Alright, so that is the weekly seasonal challenges. Up next, and finally, we will dive into Eververse, starting with the front page. So we have the Wiggle Worm emote from Chosen, I believe. We then have the ℕ𝕚𝕚𝕚 from Opulence. Again, these are just for Titans, so Warlocks and Hunters have their own. We have the Pyramid Entrance transmit effect from Season of the Lost. We then have the Royal Treatment shader from Chosen. Not a bad one. We have the Minimalism shader from Season of the Wish. And as you can tell, it shows off the new shader icon very well, as we have yellow here and yellow in the light on there. Alright, on the Bright Dust page, on the top we have Weekday Dance emote from Season of the Witch. Do not know if the lights are randomly generated or based on the color your subclass equipped. We then have a Tiny Friend emote from Season of the Deep. For those of you who like a hive moth. We then have the Razor Scale Shale from Season of the Wish. Next we have the ℕ𝕚𝕚𝕚 Rig Sparrow from Season of the Witch. I'm very much sure I said that name wrong. We then have on Titans the Abyss Inverted Titan Ornament for Heart of Inmost Light from Season of the Seraph. For those of you who want to work on a Taken look for your Titan. Then we have Augmented Apotheosis for the Divinity exotic from Season of the Wish, giving your divinity a Neptunian feel. Or excuse me, Neomoonian feel. Then we have the Hive Ghostly Projection from Season of the Chosen. Alright. Next we have the Bruised Blush shader from Undying. Then the Tyrian Abyss shader from Haunted. Some nice rich purples. The Empirical Imperative shader from Season of the Seraph. Which, depending on what armor set you're using, actually does look really good. Not so much on this one. We then have the Shifting Crossphase shader from Episode 1 Echoes. This is the new one. Next we have Reflections Transmat effect from Curse of Osiris. Then we have the Twin Snakes Transmat effect from Season of the Drifter. Then lastly we have the Subjugator entrance from Season of the Haunted, which, you know, looking back now is a very telling sign. Alright. That will do it for week 2, or week 1 technically. Again, don't forget, I'll be live over on Twitch around 4 p.m. Eastern Time, playing through week 1 of Echoes and doing some grinding for any remaining stuff I have to do for the final shape in total. But I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next video, everybody. Goodbye.